crevasses are pressure release. So basically we have the black ice flowing underneath the blue, right? Well, the valley underneath here is not completely flat. So there's little contours in the valley. The black ice, basal ice, it can actually flow over those. The blue ice, in order to get across, it's got a fracture. So that's why crevasses open. At the top of the hill, the side starts opening up. Now if it gets all the way to the bottom of that hill, the crevasse will close back up. The crevasses open and close all the time. Now this here in front of us, this is what's known as a moulin. Moulin is French for mill. Moulin Rouge, not Moulin the movie, okay? Just a different kind of mill there. So basically, during the summer months, we have a lot of meltwater flowing on top of the glacier. Well, glaciers don't like meltwater flowing on top of them. Meltwater flowing on a glacier causes more melt than sunlight and temperature combined during the summer months. So this is the way the glaciers get that water. Oh, there's a nice little rip. That pop. So that was a crevasse opening. Actually, I think it just came right through here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why it's going to get. You can see where it just opened up. So you can see it right there. Wow.
That just happened.
That just happened. Yeah, that just happened. Yeah, so notice how you heard a rip and then a pop at the end? So blue ice has a little bit of elasticity to it, not plasticity. So what happens is that blue ice stretches all the way to its limit, right? Once it hits its limit, the rip we hear is the ice actually ripping. The pop is both sides rebounding back to its original position because it's no longer under pressure being stretched out. Kind of like taking a rubber band and popping it up against your hand, right? So that's what you're hearing there. They will only open about that much. The ground is not going to open up and swallow you up underneath, okay? They sound pretty scary, but that's the end result. You can see it right there. No more than a 16th of an inch, right? Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. Then they slowly get to open up wider and wider over time. So anyway, these moulins, basically water hits low points in the ice, starts milling or drilling down, and this is the way that glaciers get that meltwater off of the top of them and down underneath of them. When the water's flowing underneath, it helps with number one, lubrication, and two, it also helps at rebuilding the glacier. As the water's flowing under the glacier, there's thin layers of it reforming to the bottom, so it grows from the bottom. So these help the glacier out immensely. It's a protection mechanism that Mother Nature has built in. Okay? Moulins are the most dangerous thing out here. Okay? Crevasses, we just learned, will never be over 300 feet, and by the time they get to 300-foot depth, they're usually like this, a nice big feet. Right? You can pretty much slide down 300 foot and you might break a few bones, but you probably survive that. Moulins, they go straight down. Sometimes they take angles because they're hitting the path of least resistance on the way down. Now, and they can also be as deep as the ice is. So we've got a deepest point out here of 1,996 feet. We most likely have one of these out there that's 1,996 feet deep. Okay, that's a fall you're not going to survive. And then moulins are also shaped like a funnel, because they're melting out and coming down, so they get tighter. Eventually you go down into a moulin, you're going to plug the hole. There is water flowing into this, so it eventually fills up on top of you. Now, another thing that happens with moulins is sometimes we have more water flowing into a moulin than what is flowing out. So they'll fill up, and they'll look like puddles, right? But there is water flowing out of the moulin, which means that the water inside is under suction. And literally most moulins have enough suction that if a human went inside, it would pull you straight underneath the water. Nothing you could do to fight that current. So we stay away from moulins. This one has a nice rock right there, about 6 feet down, so I know that nobody's going any further than that. So I'm safe. You're going to survive that if you follow it. But we're going to stay away from any bigger moulins. We'll see a lot of little tiny ones out here. We're going to stay away from larger ones other than this one today, though.